Shalom Chavrim, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live, and I want to speak to you guys very sincerely about a story that I'm working on right now. As it's getting late here in the evening, I'm not quite finished with it. I actually started with the news article that came out of Israel where the rabbis are majorly protesting the latest call for the government calling for the conscript, or the draft as we say in America, for the Levitical community, that the priests would have to also participate in the draft. There's been a major uproar about this, and of course I wanted to address my Israeli brothers regarding this issue because clearly at one point in our history, during the time when Moses was very upset over the idolatry that got started in Israel and the building of the golden calf, at that time, the Levites actually were willing to strap on the swords and fight according to the command of Moses to rid Israel of idolatry. And today we have a major form of idolatry that is once again happening in the state of Israel, and yet the Levitical priesthood has failed to realize that our call is to stand with our brothers and to fight to rid idolatry from our nation, or allowing the enemies of Israel to be able to come in and bring such idolatry into this land. So there does come a time where, as the priesthood of Israel, the Orthodox community, there does come a time when we should take and stand with our brothers in arms in order to protect our land from the advancement of idolatry that could easily come into the land, because it's definitely coming. And at the same time, in working on this, I stumbled across something that just totally blew me away. And I wanted to share this with you guys. And I cannot even begin to express how serious the information that I have discovered, what it's done to me. I'm in the process of putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And I will have that finished here by tomorrow. And I will share it with you then. I realize there's a lot of things happening in the world right now. In fact, by the way, the United States, 150 more tracks of military equipment has just arrived in Raya, Syria, or Raja, Syria there. It's just near the Turkish border there, coming in, no doubt, to help the Kurds fight inside of Syria. We know also that the Kurds have conducted a referendum for their own statehood. We expected that. We know that Israel is supporting the Kurds in doing so. And I have to say, in a way, I do support the Kurds in having their own state as well. These people have suffered greatly. But at the same time, I also know that the U.S. and Israel is involved in helping the Kurds to get the state for their own benefit and not so much for the benefit of the Kurds. So I do advise the Kurds to be cautious about being used by the different governments for such a purpose. At the same time, we know too Israel is faced with enemies such as Iran and that of Hezbollah in Lebanon that are very dangerous for the nation. And that's something that Israel does have to safeguard against. But there's a much bigger issue happening in the state of Israel right now that most people have no idea that's going on right now. And what's happening is the mystery Babylon of today is trying to regain control of the land all the way from the Nile River in Egypt clear over to the Euphrates in Syria. And it's something that we've kind of overlooked. And at the same time, if you remember, Babylon did control this entire region. Even though Israel was a nation, they were under Babylonian control. And I see Mystery Babylon today, Rome itself, using the forces of the NATO forces there in the Middle East to overtake this entire region. And yes, there will be a state of Israel, as we already have the state of Israel today, but there's been a lot of things happening in the background, friends. Things have been happening even before Israel was declared a nation that people have no idea about. Some of the things that I've uncovered are going to be very disturbing. But I have to share these things with you. And I will get on this tomorrow, finish this up so I can get this out to you. Very critical information. Also pray for the Levites in Israel or better yet, the Orthodox community that is protesting, the conscript, pray for them. That there does come a time as we must join with our Jewish brothers and our Jewish sisters in fighting to stop the advancement of idolatry. So there does come a time when, as the priesthood, they should consider obeying the command of Moses and strapping on the sword to protect the land from an advancement of idolatry into the land. And I think that idolatry is coming in a way that most have never even considered before. I'm Stephen Ben-Nun with Israeli News Live. I hope you got to see the video we posted a little bit earlier about the state of Israel and the beautiful imagery that we shared in there. Do share that with your friends. We'd love for you to do that. I want to talk to you guys as well about all around the nation about possibly taking and posting in your free advertisement sources in your area, such as Craigslist and stuff. Tell people about Israeli News Live. We have a lot of interesting things coming out here in the next days or so. I want to share those things with you. Again, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun with Israeli News Live. Erev Tov.